Most people are aware of how you can replace a character or word in a string using the replace method. However, what if you want to replace all occurrences in that string? In this tutorial, we are going to look at that JavaScript problem. Welcome to another tutorial from All Things JavaScript, where we help bridge the gap between novice and expert. To be notified about new tutorials, make sure to click that bell button and subscribe. Also, check out the discount links to all my courses that I've included in the description of this tutorial. Now, for replacing multiple occurrences, we're going to look at two possible approaches. One approach uses regular expressions, and the other uses the split and join methods of strings. Now, if you're not super familiar with regular expressions and would like to learn more, I have a course that you can link to in the description section. So, let's look at the string we're going to be working with for this JavaScript problem. Here's the string. The array in JavaScript is quite flexible. You can find arrays all over. Array is an important data structure in JavaScript. Notice we have the word array 3 times. Now what I'd like to do is replace that with object. We're going to use both of these methods to do that. So first, let's take a look at the replace method. Let's start with that. And I'm going to set up a new string variable, and then the replace method acts on the string. So we do str.replace. Now replace takes 2 parameters. The first parameter is what you're looking to replace. The second parameter is what you want to replace it with. So we could just do strings like this, array, and then replace with object. We could do that sort of thing. Now let's look at what happens if we use that approach to replace. I'm going to open up the console here, and I'm going to display new string. As you can see, the first occurrence of array was replaced. But over here, that one was not replaced, and this one was not replaced here. Even though that's plural, it should still find array and replace it. But the replace method by default only replaces one occurrence. Now, something else you can do with replace is you can use a regular expression. So I want to show that really quick. So instead of a string for finding what we want to replace, I'm going to put in a regular expression. And we can express that with slash around the word array. And so this regular expression is saying find array, the word array, and replace it with object. So it's really the same thing we've done with a string, but now we're using a regular expression. So let me save that and let's see what we get now. Now if I display the new string again, we have the first occurrence replaced, second occurrence not, third occurrence not. So there we used a regular expression. It didn't help us change multiple occurrences. It still just changes the first. Well, here's the trick you use with regular expressions in order to change more than one occurrence, or I should say in order to change all occurrences of that word in the string. We use a global flag, and that is done by placing a G right here after the end of the regular expression. That global flag indicates that it should find all occurrences of this, the word array. So if we save that and now come out, refresh that again, and let's take a look at the new string variable once more time. The first one's changed, the second one is changed, but the third one is not changed. Now the reason the third one is not changed is because the A is uppercase. And so when we're looking at a string or a regular expression, it's very specific about what we entered. And so we have a lowercase a, and so it does not replace that. There is another flag we could use in regular expressions that would cause us to be a case insensitive search. And that is the I flag, lowercase I. Now this will ignore the case and find all occurrences of array no matter what the case is and replace it. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. New string again. Now we see object here, objects there, and object here. Notice the O is not uppercase. Basically, it gets replaced with whatever we've placed here. So it doesn't change that. We would have to get a lot more sophisticated to replace with the same case. Now, something else I want to mention about replace before we look at the second method is that, as you will notice, replace is returning a new string. It doesn't modify the existing string here. So we could look at the existing string still, and it has the original text, array, array, array. So replace returns a new string for us. All right, let me comment out this one here. And let's take a look at the next method. Now the next method uses the split and join methods. Now what split does, it allows us to indicate something that we want to break on. And by breaking on that, it could be a word, could be a single character, could be a space. By breaking on that, it creates an array from the strings. So it will break up this string according to the delimiter we specify. Now we can specify the word array as that delimiter. And let's see what happens. So I'm going to do new str2. I'm going to set that to str.split. And then inside of parentheses, I'm going to indicate array. Now let's see what that does. Come out here and refresh and take a look at that new string 2. Now notice we have an array. And notice how the array is broken up. We have the word the. Let's take a look at this original string. Here's where we broke on. And so it created this first part as one element in array. Now it's going to create the second part as the next element in array up to there. That's what we see here. You can find, and there's the next element. The S starts the third element, and it did not break here because this is uppercase A. So it didn't consider that a point, a delimiter where it could break up this string. So we now have 3 elements in the array. So how does this help us replace the word array with the word object? Well, we can take an array and combine it back into a string using the join method. And we can specify how that string is joined back together. So what we could do is, after splitting it up, we could then join it back together with the word object. And so in reality, what we're doing is replacing array with object by first converting to an array and then putting it back together with the word object. So here's how we do that. Dot join object. Now we just chain these together because the data type that is returned can be acted on immediately. So for example, we have a string here, we split that, it creates an array, the join method acts on arrays, and so we can do dot join and put it back together. And that will put the results here in this variable. And let's go ahead and take a look at that. There we have it. Object in JavaScript is quite flexible. You can find objects all over. Array, notice, because this is uppercase, it did not find it. Now, one last thing I want to show here is we could do a regular expression here as well. And by doing a regular expression here, we can also use that case insensitive flag. Just like that. And then it would go ahead and replace it for us. Let's take a look at that really quick. New string 2. And there, now we have all 3 of them replaced. So that is how you'd go about replacing multiple occurrences of something in a string. You can use either the regular expression approach, or you can use the split and join methods of strings to take care of that. I hope this discussion was helpful, and if so, please hit the like button and remember to subscribe. Also, I've provided discount links to all my courses in the description section. If you would like to become a patron of this channel, I would appreciate the support. For a certain level of support, you can get access to the code files I use. You can also contribute by visiting my website. You can follow a link for both in the description. Click the bell button to be notified about new releases. You can access another video right away. And remember, I release new tutorials each week. And thanks for watching.